This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 307, The Mental Journey of Writing a Book, by Tynan of Tynan.com. And I'm your host and narrator. My name is Dan, and I'm here every single day reading to you from some of the best blogs covering entrepreneurship, freelancing, and more. And now let me ask you a question. Is your Wi-Fi slowing down at the office or when you're working from home? Then it's time for you to upgrade your Wi-Fi. With Netgear Wi-Fi 6 business solutions, you get the very best Wi-Fi performance, security, and coverage to keep you connected whether you're at the office, working from home, or on the go. They deliver unmatched speeds, coverage, enterprise-level security, and 4 times the network capacity. Plus, seamless mobile management helps you keep your guests and employees connected and your data protected, providing visibility anywhere, anytime. Visit netgear.com/business and use code OPTIMAL10 at checkout to save 10%. And now let's get right to our post for today as we optimize your life. The Mental Journey of Writing a Book by Tynan of Tynan.com. I remember when I wrote my first book. A friend told me that I should do it. He was more financially successful than I was, and so I figured I may as well just do what he said. It was a daunting idea, but I thought that since so many other people had written books, I could probably handle it too. Back then, I had a funny, compact computer that had a 7-inch screen and a proportionately tiny keyboard. I sat down in front of it and started typing. Next thing I knew, it was time to go to bed. I was so focused that I'd forgotten to eat dinner. I woke up the next morning and kept writing, and again, it was late before I knew it. But I had run through my ad hoc outline. The book was done just one day after I started it. Sure, I had to spend a week editing it, rearranging it, and formatting it, but that part's easy. You know the hard part is done, so the rest is light and fun. I had no idea that writing a book was so easy. I'd never done the math and realized that at 100 words per minute, you could technically write an entire book in 5 hours. I wanted my next book to be a real masterpiece, so I took forever on it. I got into a cycle of never really being satisfied with it and felt like I was trying to write a book in someone else's style. It came out well in the end, but I think I spun my wheels way more than I should have. I wrote my third book on a plane on a single round-trip flight from San Francisco to New York City. It was a short but useful book. It was fun racing the clock and made the flight go by really quickly. My fourth book was written without me even noticing. I did it on a cruise ship, but I swear I don't have a single recollection of writing on that boat. I remember all sorts of other stuff we got into, but I couldn't tell you what the desk or chair looked like where I wrote it. That book was easy. It was about habits, and I'd spent a couple years just obsessing about habits. More than writing, it just felt like releasing a valve in my brain and letting it all pour out. I'm finishing up my fifth book now, so it's the freshest in my mind. It reminds me of all sorts of thought patterns that I forgot that I had when I wrote my other books. I know how good all my other books are. I think that the reviews are pretty fair for most of them and that the aggregate star ratings are correct. But as I write this book, I have no idea how good it is. It could be 1 star or 5, and I couldn't tell you which. I'll know once I edit it down and organize it, and I'll work my hardest to get it to a 5, but it's impossible to tell as I write. When I first started writing it 2 weeks ago, it was a little bit daunting. It felt a little bit like climbing a mountain I've already climbed a few times. Okay, let's drag ourselves up this thing once more. As I knocked out the chapters, though, I got into the groove of it. Even just being 1/10 of the way through gave me a glimpse of what the final product might be like, and I got excited about getting it done. I set a daily word count of 2,500 words. No matter what, I wouldn't allow myself to go to sleep if I didn't hit that word count. Most days I went over by a couple hundred words, but there were a couple days I struggled to finish. Having a word count took a lot of stress out of the process, though. Just write your words and you'll have a book eventually, I told myself. Then all of a sudden, the book was done. I still have to edit and rearrange, and I'll surely have to rewrite some parts of it and add chapters, but the hard part is done. I'm coasting down the mountain now, and it feels great. I can't wait to get this book in people's hands. I think it's going to help a lot of people and hopefully be pretty interesting to read. It feels good to get a project off the books and for the royalties to start trickling in. The truth is, it's not really all that hard to write a book. You just set a word count, put that many words on paper, ignore the doubts in your mind, and pretty soon you have a book. It might not be that good, but you could easily write a book. And you might be surprised at how good it comes out, too. My third book, the one written on a plane, was poorly written. It's the only book where I feel like the negative reviews are completely justified and correct. But it's also saved some people a whole lot of time and gotten good reviews. Even if you're not a writer, you could definitely write a book that's better than that one. I think the reason many people who want to write books don't is because they psych themselves out. I almost did it myself on my second book, so I know how easy it can be. There's this fantasy of writing the greatest masterpiece ever, and that pressure makes it impossible to write even a decent book. The only way you finish is by giving up because of the pressure and then submitting to the idea of writing a decent book. It's a strange mental journey. At first it seems nearly impossible, then it feels like a chore, then it feels inevitable, and then it feels amazing. Altogether, it's a pretty decent mountain to climb. You just listened to the post titled The Mental Journey of Writing a Book by Tynan of Tynan.com. If you're a small business owner who's interested to learn more about the real life behind the scenes of being a successful entrepreneur in today's world, you'll be happy to know that FreshBooks has launched a podcast called I Make a Living to do just that. FreshBooks is a friendly accounting software that helps millions of small businesses stay on track of their business finances. And together with their charismatic host, Damona Hoffman, a celebrity matchmaker and entrepreneur, they dive deep into the lives of fellow entrepreneurs to answer the golden question, what does making a living mean to you? Damona Hoffman and her guests, like Drybar founder Ali Webb, Silver Room and Block Party creator Eric Williams, and Adman and CBC host Terry O'Reilly explore every aspect of being your own boss, revealing the ups and downs of running a business and everything in between. There are also sprinkles of mini-sodes called the Nerdisodes, where they nerd out on topics like SEO, imposter syndrome, and work-life balance. To listen to the show, go to freshbooks.com/podcast or search I Make a Living on any podcast platform that you're using right now. And thank you to Tynan, who is an author, coach, and speaker who uses his unique set of experiences and skills to help people build habits and systems to reach their goals. And now when I say unique, I really mean unique. He sold everything he owned to go on an extended world trip, started a cruise agency, and lived in an RV for 10 years. His blog has a wide range of topics and stories, so that is something that's definitely worth checking out. And as you can imagine, he likes to learn new things, build habits, explore the world, connect with awesome people, and create good work. His books are bestsellers on Amazon, and he was even named a top blogger by Time magazine in 2013. So you can check out his work and his experiences at Tynan.com. That's Tynan.com. And I have that linked in this episode's description. But that's going to do it for today here on Optimal Startup Daily. I thank you so much for listening and for being a subscriber. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you back here tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.